Hi guys, I'm Ghost Jones and welcome back to the Ghost Jones YouTube channel. Today we got a little story time. We got a little mess, yes. We saucing it up. I'm about to start telling my business. What made me want to tell this story time is I was just like randomly in the shower. Well, I wasn't randomly in the shower, but I was in the shower and I was like thinking about like, oh my God, like what am I gonna film next? Like what am I gonna do? And then I just randomly thought about the time that my friend went missing. Like, I literally had a friend who was like a missing person. Okay, so boom. I'm in college. It's my freshman year. Like I don't know anybody and I'm like sitting in the like the little food court at school or whatever and I'm eating by myself and then this guy walks up to me and he's just like, why are you eating by yourself? Like what's going on? And I was like, oh, like I'm a freshman, like I'm new here, I don't really know anybody. And he was like, okay, like you can come and eat like with me, my friend. So it's like, okay, cool. So he was like with this other girl. And I mean, they looked to be like cool people, like chill people. And I just kind of wasn't in the space where I could just like turn down friendships, right? So I went to go hang out with them. Like, and honestly, like I had a really good time. So like we went and we ate, then we got on the little bus and we went to the Walmart, we went to the mall, we went to Dollar General, we was stealing stuff out the Dollar General, got us some snacks or whatever. Like, I know stealing is bad. I'm not encouraging people to go out and steal, but honestly, when you are in college and all you got is so much money, you gotta do what you gotta do. We needed toilet paper. We had a long day of shopping and stealing. And then I had went back to like their off-campus apartment or whatever. And that's where I basically met the other roommate. So, the apartment was set up like ABC. So it was like the first person in room A, we're gonna call her, what are we gonna call her? We're gonna call her Jessica. Person in room B, we're gonna call her Sarah. The two people that were in room C, the original person in room C, we're gonna call her Megan. And we're gonna call the guy that I met Daryl. Okay, so basically what was happening was Sarah and Daryl were best friends, and Daryl was in the military. He left the military or whatever, and he started school, but he did not have a place to stay. So he was basically like squatting at their apartment. But Sarah and what was that other girl's name? Jessica did not like Megan. And Megan ended up getting pregnant by like a party promoter or whatever, because that's just what girls do in college. And they ended up kind of like kicking her out, Bad Girls Club style. And what happened was Megan left the door unlocked to the apartment, well, to her room door or whatever. So Daryl just like moved all of his stuff into there and they ended up never really putting anybody in room C. So he ended up staying there with them. So technically he was kind of like a roommate, but he wasn't. Okay. So fast forward. I'm starting to like hang out with them more or whatever. And, all of us like got to be really cool. And, one day, Daryl used to date a lot. And Daryl had kind of met this guy or whatever, and we'll call him Terrence. So Daryl had met Terrence and he started like bringing him around like the friend group or whatever. And then one day, like before I get to that, Daryl had told me that Terrence was bi. Hold on to that. So Daryl and Terrence were like, they were messing around, like they were having like their little relationship or whatever. Then all of a sudden everything just stopped. And then like after that, like Daryl just kind of like started like pulling away from like the friend group or whatever. Like we were like, hey, like, we got to go out here, we got to go do this, we got to go do X, Y, and Z. And he kind of like wouldn't want to be around, or like he would be like, hey, like let me just hang out with like you and your friends or whatever, but not them. So I was just like, okay, like, that's a little weird. And then like one day he kind of told me that he felt like Jessica and Terrence were messing around. So I was like, what? Like, why would you think that? Like, that's crazy, right? Like, why would you think that like your best friend of all these years would be sleeping with a dude that you're talking to? We're gonna put a pin in that, okay? Because We just gonna put a pin in it, all right? So that's what he's thinking. So he just stops messing with Terrence, and Terrence is just really kind of like a friend to us or whatever. So then Daryl meets this other guy, but he doesn't really like tell us much about the guy. He's just always on the phone with him. Like when we're having movie nights and stuff, like he'll just go into his room and he'll just stay on the phone with him, whatever. So, like time goes by and like we get more towards like the end of the year and well, end of the semester. Like all this happened just in one semester. This was a lot of drama for one semester, right? So we get closer towards the end of the semester. So, everybody has like their finals, like midterms, like all of that. So I'm not really like spending that much time with them or whatever, but I do go over and like hang out on the weekends. Like I'll spend the night, all that cool stuff. And basically, Monday morning, I was leaving to go to class. And Daryl was on the phone and then he said, hold on, I'm gonna call you back. And then he told me to like come in the room or whatever. And he was like, hey, he was just like telling me like, oh, like the door is unlocked or whatever. He was like, if you want to stay in here, you can. He was like, you got pillows, like, yeah, whatever. And he was like, but I'm about to go. He was like, I'll be back. So I wasn't like, at the time, I wasn't really thinking much of what he was saying. I was just like, okay, like, that's weird or whatever. And then like, he didn't really like pack a bag, but like he put like some clothes in his book bag. Like I literally watched the whole entire thing happen. And like now looking back at it, like, damn, like you were so dumb. Like he was literally running away in front of you. And then maybe like 30 minutes later, I think I left and I got on a little shuttle, to go to school, to go to class, whatever. The day goes on and basically Daryl doesn't come home. That's unbeknownst to me because of course it's during the week. So I'm not really spending much time with them like that because like I said, you got finals, you got midterms, like you got all these things that you need to study for. Also, I had my other group of friends as well who have to get their own story time because Jesus Christ, like they probably had more drama than this friend group, but all of it was crazy. So the whole week goes by and then I go back to the house because it's the weekend or whatever. And Jessica and Sarah are like, have you heard from Daryl? And I was like, no. And they're like, well, he hasn't been home all week and he's not answering the phone. So I'm like, I mean, that's weird or whatever. And I was like, I mean, maybe he went home. And then they were like, no, like, like him and his mom are not on good terms like that. So he wouldn't be able to go home. So I'm just like, I mean, honestly, I don't know where he's at. So then they were like, well, when was the last time you saw him? And I was like, oh, I saw him on Monday or whatever. And he told me that he was getting ready to go. But when he told me he was getting ready to go, I just thought he was getting ready to go to class. I didn't think like he was leaving to go somewhere. Now, being that we're all over the age of 18, like the police it's harder to like do like a missing persons thing because when you're classified as an adult, you can come and go as you please. So time goes by and literally like we're calling him, we're texting him and stuff. Like he's not picking up the phone for nobody. Like he's not answering no text, like nothing. All he's doing is like literally straight up like declining our calls, like first ring, second ring, third ring, like boom, do. So we know that you're alive. And I literally went so far as to write him on Kick. Like this was back in Kick days, okay? Like, and the shit was just saying deliver. So I'm just like, wow, like he's like ignoring us like mad hard. Like he's gone away, like he hasn't told anybody anything. Like he's left most of his clothes here. So it feels like you're coming back, but are you really? Like we don't know. The semester ends, we don't hear from him. And then like we go into the new semester and we still don't hear anything from him. And then Jessica's birthday is in February. So we're like, surely he'll come back for Jessica's birthday party. Does not come back, child. That really hurt her feelings. But to me, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, he kind of said that you was messing with his dude, girl. Like, you're having all these emotions, but you're out here kind of like doing him wrong. And once I don't want to tell y'all that story. I'm just going to tell y'all that I'm going to tell y'all what happened between Daryl, Terrence, and Jessica in a whole nother story. But basically, it's just like, girl, you were doing what you were doing, and you didn't ever stop to think that, like, maybe this is part of the reason why he doesn't want to talk to you specifically you. Like a week later, we see that, like, he updates his Facebook or whatever, and he says that he's in a relationship with this dude named Jeffrey. So now Daryl and Jeffrey are together. All we have is Jeffrey's first and last name, and like we try to add him on Facebook, but basically he doesn't really accept the requests or whatever. So me being me, I put my little detective hat on, and I used a couple resources that I had to like find out as much information about Daryl as I could. So basically, I literally got his phone number, his address, his mama number, his grandma number. Like, I got all information on him or whatever. So I was like, y'all, I got his info. Like, this is his number. This is where he lives. So the guy literally lived like in a city that was kind of like 15 minutes away, because I was in like a little college town that was like sandwiched in between all these little like cities, all these little country ass towns, and none of us have a car. So him being 15 minutes away, really we couldn't do much, because it's like we ain't got no ride and we ain't got no money. Like, we can't go save him. So Jessica takes it upon herself to call, what did I call him? Jeffrey. So Jeffrey answers the phone. Like, he's like a really cool dude. Like, he doesn't really know what's going on. And she was like, can I speak to Daryl? And Jeffrey was like, Daryl, Jessica's on the phone. Do you want to talk to her? And he was like, no. And then they hung up the phone. And I was like, damn, he don't want to talk to you. Damn, like, he missed your birthday party. Damn, like, that's fucked up. Damn, he spoke to you in months. Damn. Like, I'm like feeling it too, because I'm just like, you know, we're like, me and Daryl had gotten to be really close, but it was just like, you know, our history versus their history, like, they have like a stronger history. So of course I'm just naturally thinking like, you know, above all, like, you'll at least speak to sis. He didn't want to speak to sis. So y'all, so we basically like left it at that. And then one day, Daryl just randomly shows up. Like, and he's all over the campus. Like, people were coming up to me, they were like, oh, Daryl is looking for you, Daryl's here, like, Daryl's looking for you, because everybody kind of knew like our relationship, and they kind of knew what was going on. Like, he just kind of disappeared, like, especially like my close group of friends, because they were also at Jessica's party, and like they had questions too. They're like, oh, like, he's looking for you or whatever. And I'm like, girl, I haven't spoken to this boy in months. Like, you're supposed to be my best friend, and you literally just dip out on me, like, and you don't really say much of anything. Like, yeah, you kind of gave me hints, but I just felt like, above all, if you trusted me with the information that you've been telling me, like, about yourself and about what you think is going on in your life, you should have been able to just say, hey girl, look, I'm about to go dip off with this dude, and I'm not coming back for a while. Like, I need to get my head right. Like, something, like, you could have at least text me, like, let me know that you're okay. So at this point, like, I've cut Daryl off. Like, I don't want to deal with Daryl at all. So I go through my whole entire school day, and then I go back to their apartment, because I'm like, surely he'll be there. So he was there packing his clothes or whatever, girl, and he was trying to talk to me, and I'm just like, I told him straight up, I was like, I don't have nothing to say to you. I was like, we got to be so close, and I really thought that you were like my best friend, and you literally ran away and ignored all of us for months. I was like, I had to do like some crazy shit to even find this man's contact information. Like, I was doing all this to like make sure that you were literally okay, and you did not give a F. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to say to you right now? So he was upset about that. And honestly, we didn't talk again. And after that semester, I ended up falling out with my other friend group, and I just didn't want to be at that school anymore. So I ended up transferring. So I don't know what happened to Daryl or any of those people, because honestly, I never saw them again. But I just felt like, girl, this is too much. Like, this town, this city, off the chain. Honestly, like, if y'all were in that situation, like, what would you do? Like, would you be able to just forgive your friend who literally like dashed off on your ass? Like, mm-mm. No, no. Like, I'm glad he was all right. I hope that he's still okay to this day. Like, maybe if I had my Facebook logins, like, I would check in on him. But honestly, that was so long ago. Like, I'm completely over it, like, now. But, like, when it was happening, like, it just felt so big. Like, it just felt like, oh my God, like, y'all, like, my friend is, like, literally missing. Like, he could be dead. Like, he could have killed himself. Like, he could have ran off with a dude and the dude killed him or was, like, holding him hostage. Like, that was literally, like, things that we were thinking. Like, we literally thought Jeffrey was, like, this evil person. And honestly, he probably really well, honestly, he really wasn't. Like when we were talking to him on the phone, like he seemed really cool. And quite frankly, he didn't even really know that Daryl had kind of like ran away. He just thought he had told Daryl, well, Daryl had told him like something else. And like Daryl had even gotten a job in the city. Like he was like literally living a whole life outside of his entire college career. So it's like you even gave up on school. Like you basically dropped out of school all for this dude. And now you're here back, like getting your stuff. Are you gonna go back over there with him? Are y'all like done? Like what happened? Like I had so many questions, but honestly, I just did not want to talk to him. So I just kind of left it at what it was. But yeah, that's the whole story. Hopefully I'll give y'all like part two and like give y'all like the real breakdown of like Jessica, Daryl, and Terrence situation because I felt like I was also in the middle of that too because like this one person had this idea of what was going on and then I found out what was actually happening, which was crazy. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I will talk with y'all later. Peace.